He's been coaching for half a century. He's trained world champions, Olympic medalists, and once-in-a-generation athletes. And after all of that, after 50 years of watching greatness walk through his rink doors, Rafael Arutyunyan just said something he has never said before. He said one of his own skaters might be in the top 3 most talented athletes he has ever seen. Let that land for a second. Not just in figure skating. Not just in his current roster. Top 3. In 50 years. And the name attached to that statement. Ilia Malinin. A 20-year-old kid from Virginia who is rewriting the rulebook of what the human body can do on ice. But here's what nobody is talking about yet. This wasn't just a compliment. This was a warning. In 2022, when Ilia Malinin landed the first ever ratified quadruple Axel in competition, the figure skating world paused. They called it a fluke. They said it was unrepeatable. They moved on. But Rafael Arutyunyan didn't move on. He saw something that day that the judges, the commentators, and the entire sport hadn't processed yet. He saw the beginning of something that doesn't come around every generation. Something that comes around maybe once in a century. Now with the 2026 Milan-Cortina Winter Olympics on the horizon, that something has a very specific deadline and a very specific opponent to defeat. Let's talk about what Rafael actually said. Because the full interview reveals a lot more than just a ranking. Arutyunyan didn't just call Malinin talented. He described it differently. He talked about Ilia's relationship with the quad axel the way a physicist describes a law of nature, as if it was almost inevitable that he would land it, and almost inevitable that he will keep landing it. He talked about Malinin's spatial awareness on ice, his body control, his ability to process complex rotations the way most athletes process breathing. Not something you teach, something you discover. And then came the line that no one in the skating community can stop repeating. In his 50 years of coaching, 50 years that include working with some of the most decorated names in the history of this sport, Rafael Arutyunyan put Ilia Malinin in his personal top 3. Not top 10. Not top 5. Top 3. He didn't reveal the other 2. And somehow that makes it more powerful, not less. Because now you can't stop thinking about it. Here's where it gets interesting from a competitive standpoint. The 2026 Olympics isn't just a stage for Malinin to show up and collect gold. It's actually one of the most contested men's singles fields in recent memory. Nathan Chen has passed the torch. The Japanese machine, Shoma Uno, Kao Miura, Yuma Kageyama, continues to produce technically elite skaters. The competition isn't walking away. And yet nobody in the world can do what Ilia Malinin does. Nobody has landed a quad axel in competition more than once. Nobody has a program component score combined with a technical score that looks like what Malinin produces when everything clicks. And perhaps more importantly, nobody has a coach who has watched 50 years of this sport and is pointing at them saying this is the one. That's not marketing. That's not hype. That's Rafael Arutyunyan, one of the most respected technical minds in figure skating history, making a statement he will be quoted on for decades. But let's go deeper for a moment. Because the story of Ilia Malinin isn't just the quad axel. That's the headline. The story underneath the headline is actually about pressure, legacy, and what happens when a talent this rare is finally standing on the world's biggest stage. Think about this. Malinin has been the world's best men's figure skater in terms of raw technical output for the past 3 years. He's won competitions. He's broken records. He's done things on ice that were literally considered impossible by biomechanics researchers just a decade ago. And yet, no Olympic gold. Not yet. 2026 is the moment everything he's built converges. The quad axel, the artistry that has grown exponentially from season to season, the mental maturity that comes from competing at the highest level since his teenage years, and now the public endorsement of the man who knows him better than anyone, his coach, his architect, his Rafael. There is a psychological dimension to this that rarely gets discussed in sports coverage. When your coach, someone who does not give out compliments casually, puts you in their all-time top 3, it does something to an athlete's internal narrative. It doesn't create pressure. It creates certainty. It's the difference between hoping you're great and knowing someone who has seen greatness your entire life believes it about you. Malinin has talked in past interviews about the process of learning the quad axel. He's described it not as something he forced, but something he chased. A challenge that felt almost personal, like an ongoing conversation between him and the laws of physics. That kind of language, that kind of relationship with technical challenge, is what separates athletes who win competitions from athletes who define eras. And Arutyunyan sees that. He's not just talking about the jumps. He's talking about the mind behind the jumps. The instinct. The hunger. The thing that makes an athlete keep pushing past every ceiling the sport has ever had. So where does this leave us heading into Milan-Cortina? It leaves us watching one of the most anticipated Olympic performances in figure skating history. It leaves us in a rare moment where the outcome still feels genuinely uncertain, because Malinin's competition is elite, but where the ceiling of what he can produce is higher than anything anyone else can reach. It leaves us with a coach's 50-year endorsement hanging in the air like a gauntlet thrown down. There is a version of the next few months where Ilia Malinin skates 2 clean programs in Milan, lands that quad axel in front of the entire world, and steps onto a podium to claim what the last few years of his career have been building toward. There is a version where he becomes not just an Olympic champion, but the athlete who made the generation of skaters after him look at a jump and think, well, if he can do it, maybe I can too. And then there's Rafael Arutyunyan, somewhere rinkside, watching a 50-year career arrive at this. Top 3 in talent. That's the sentence. That's the whole story. The only question left is whether the world is ready to watch him prove it. If you want to see exactly how Malinin trains, what makes the quad axel physically possible, and a full breakdown of his competition ahead of the Olympics, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. Because the next few months of figure skating are going to be unlike anything we've seen in a generation. And you don't want to miss a single second of it.